to the Wednesday meditation service. I'm going to read the daily word for today. I behold the divine presence in those for whom I pray. Each person, no matter who they are or what they're going through, is a divine being. Before I pray with someone, I affirm their divine identity to remind myself all they could need is already within them. Rather than thinking I know what is best for them, I instead entrust them to the care and keeping of their inner direction. As spiritual beings, wholeness is their natural state. Their guidance is clear and sure. Their needs are supplied from the infinite reservoir of love and light within them. I do not cease to give thanks for you as I remember you in my prayers. Ephesians 1:16. So we're going to do a call and response tonight, chant, and just relax and just feel the presence. And we may not have many people in our sanctuary, but there are people online, so just feel the room filled with people and spirits that are here that we may not see, and let's just chant. You are in the wind, you are in the wind, in each twinkling star, in each twinkling star. You are all around me, you are all around me. You are never far, you are never far. And my soul keeps singing, and my soul keeps singing. Oh divine, all I want is you. 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 Oh divine, all I want. Oh divine, all I want is you, is you. You are in the desert, you are in the desert, you are in the sea, you are in the sea. Dancing in the grasses, dancing in the grasses, whispering in each tree, whispering in each tree. And my soul keeps singing, and my soul keeps singing. Oh divine, all I want is you. 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 Oh divine, all I want. Oh divine, all I want. is you, is you. You are in the mountains, you are in the mountains, laughing in each brook, laughing in each brook. You are peeping at me, you are peeping at me. Everywhere I look, everywhere I look, and my soul keeps singing, and my soul keeps singing. Oh divine, all I want is you. 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 Oh divine, all I want. Oh divine, all I want is you. Is you. I can feel your presence. I can feel your presence. Where each pathway bends. Where each pathway bends. I can see you smiling. I can see you smiling. Through the eyes of friends, through the eyes of friends. And my soul keeps singing, and my soul keeps singing. Oh divine, all I want is you. 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 Oh divine, all I want. Oh divine, all I want is you, is you. All I want is you. Oh divine, all I want is you. Oh divine, all I want is you. Oh divine, all I want is you.
Good evening, everyone. Again, thank you for coming out in this not the best weather. I had a phone call from a member of the church today concerned about all the terrible things that are going on in the world, especially the shootings, mass shootings. And it was on the radio today that we've had something like 67 mass shootings since the beginning of the year. That's one a day, one for every day. And this person was very concerned and said, what's happening? I reminded her that Eckhart Tolle, the master, said about 5 or 6 years ago that the whole world will go crazy. And his idea involving that is that the thought system of the world is flawed, badly flawed, and it is the underlying cause of all human conflict and all unnecessary suffering and all of mankind's inhumanity to mankind. So, people sometimes think they can get well through therapy, and if you have an enlightened therapist, I suspect you could get well. But many of the therapists are not themselves enlightened. And what they are attempting to do is to fit their clients' thinking into the world, to make them fit in to the way the insane things are taking place in life. Actually, the only option we have is to transcend the thinking of the world. And that's what our spiritual path is all about in Unity. And it's also the path that is always advocated by those who are enlightened masters and sages. So let's begin today to look at that path, that transformative consciousness. In ancient Greece, in Delphi, ancient Greece, there was a temple. I think it was, dedicated to Apollo, the god Apollo. But an archway over this temple, over the entrance, had an inscription on it with 2 admonitions. The first one said, "Know thyself." And the second one said, "All things in moderation." I suspect that the trouble people back then had with those 2 ideals is that it's probably the same as it is with people today. Everyone thinks he or she knows himself, herself. And when they believe that, for most people, they are believing that this voice in their head that is continually giving them the notice to go and strive some more. This voice in the head is simply each person's collection of personal beliefs that have been amassed in the subconscious mind over this person's lifetime, each lifetime. And each person has a different collection of beliefs. Some may be similar to some others, but when you get right down to it, no two people are living in the same world, because each person is living in the world of his or her beliefs, which color the experiences they have in life. And that is why there is so much conflict, anxiety, frustration, and depression, because there is no understanding of reality. So, what is necessary in order to find a way beyond the strange and ongoing conflicts of the world is to enter this higher state of awareness that the masters speak about. And this higher state of awareness is available to each and every person. It happens to be their core being, or their soul nature being. And it has been called many different things. It's been called Buddha nature. It's been called Christ in you. It's called the one in all, the all in one, the divine presence, on and on and on. There's many names given to this level of awareness. But it is necessary for us to take to task our own present level of awareness and begin to see whenever that illusionary voice in the head is creating anxiety, conflict, and desperation sometimes within us. And then we have to pause and realize that we want peace first and foremost. And I say this to people often enough, that peace and understanding go together. They can never be separate from one another. In other words, wherever there is true peace, there is understanding. And wherever there is understanding, there is true peace. But that is only in this more expanded level of awareness do we have true peace. So it's incumbent upon us to take to task our awareness when we don't have peace, so that we see, the cause of our uneasiness, anxiety, and resistance. By just looking at it is to begin to dissolve the thoughts that are creating it. The thoughts like, this shouldn't be happening to me. Or why do I have to see this happening again? Or why am I going through this? Or where did these people come from? Or that person should have known better. When are these people going to get it? And it goes on and on and on and on, because we're living in the illusionary concept of separation. I am a separate body-mind in a world of separate others who do not necessarily have my personal self-interests at heart. Well, that is the idea that so many people operating in the consciousness of the world, the thinking of the world, have. And it's flawed, because it is the cause of anxiety and resistance. So now let us consider this from the Master Eckhart Tolle, his book, Stillness Speaks. I'll read it to you. This is on page 57 in Stillness Speaks. When you know who you truly are, there is an abiding, alive sense of peace. You could call it joy, because that's what joy is. Vibrantly alive peace. It is the joy of knowing yourself as the very life essence before life takes on form. That is the joy of being who you truly are. So here we have this master of life. And he's speaking directly to the inscription, really, that was engraved over the entrance to the Temple of Apollo. Know thyself. So there is this higher, more refined level of awareness that he is speaking to when he says, when you know who you truly are, there is an abiding, alive sense of peace. You could call it joy, because that's what joy is. Vibrantly alive peace. It is the joy of knowing yourself as the very life essence before life takes on form. That is the joy of being who you truly are. That's a lot different than what some people who are on the spiritual journey in the beginning believe. Some people on the spiritual journey believe that somehow or other, this transforming process we go through in our daily yoga has to do with mind over matter. In other words, if you develop this spiritual consciousness, you'll be able to control conditions, people, and circumstances outside of you so that they will meet your expectations, your personal expectations, your personal desires, your wishes, your demands. That's a very surface level of understanding in the New Age workings of spiritual development. What Tolle is speaking about is a level of awareness in which you are in alignment with the consciousness of God. Now, see if you can enter into this just as I say it. The consciousness of God as it is unfolding before you in the now, in this now moment in your life. This is the expression of life before you. To be in resistance to it is to be in denial of the will of life. So what's ever happening on your path of life is your calling. You can actually release and let go all of the many disturbances, conflicts, and wars, and terrible things that are taking place way outside the path you're living on, your personal path of life. You can let them go. If you want to, you can pray for those people that are in need of prayer. You can send, money or packages or do something, but let it go once you do that. Because our calling is to become awake in the process of living that life that is before us, right here, right now. And the only way to do it is to recognize when you are in resistance to what is taking place right now on your path. When you are in resistance to what is taking place right now on your path, You are not one with the will of life. So it's necessary for us, when we feel this resistance, this concern, this upsetness, this worry, this anger, is to pause. We have to pause and know that we want to be in that state of divine peace and blessings, so that we can bestow that peace and blessings in relationship to everything that is present on our path. So as I enter into that and choose peace as my goal, first and foremost, doesn't mean I give up pursuing the different elements and things I would like to have in my physical life. It doesn't mean that. It means that we are no longer thrusting and striving toward getting those things in the assumption that they will bring us peace. Gathering those things, enough money, a promotion, or getting through this particular challenge, or getting out of this particular relationship, then I'm going to have the peace I'm looking for. That's not going to happen. What we are called upon to do is to be awake in the process of living, so that we can accept our oneness in the now moment. We can accept to the degree we're actually flowing with things as they are. And we're letting those things which are not in the path of our life, we're letting them be whatever they are, knowing that they are being taken care of by the cosmic balancing process of the intelligence of life itself. So that's what our calling actually is. And if we listen to this, everything that we're involved in doing on this journey, we have guidance. And this is from A Course in Miracles. This is from the Course in Miracles text, page 533. In quietness are all things answered, and is every problem quietly resolved. In conflict, there can be no answer and no resolution, for its purpose is to make no resolution possible, and to ensure no answer will be plain. A problem set in conflict has no answer. What it's referring to is the conflicted state of consciousness that is involved with the ego-centered idea of self. The ego-centered idea of self that I'm an encapsulated body-mind in a world of separate others and phenomena. So that's already the underlying cause of fear, concern, the striving to get control over others and conditions and circumstances. That's already what it's talking about. So it's saying that in conflict there can be no answer as long as you're operating in that illusionary definition of life. There will be no resolution. For its purpose, the ego's purpose, is to make no resolution possible and to ensure no answer will be plain. A problem set in conflict has no answer, for it is seen in different ways, and what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer from another. You are in conflict, thus it must be clear you cannot answer anything at all, for conflict has no limited effects. Yet if God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved, for what God wills already has been done. Therefore, God must have given you a way of reaching to another state of mind in which the answer is already there. Such is the holy instant. And of course, the holy instant, as the Course in Miracles refers to it, is the here and now awareness. of the now moment. That is the holy instant, in which you have become courageous enough and faithful enough to yourself to release all of the limited cares of the past and concerns of the past, and all of the anxiety that comes with trying to figure out how you can make the future meet your personal desires and ideals. Look at what it is. Imagine to be enlightened is to become so absolutely courageous as to simply be in the present moment, allowing that present moment to reveal to you what is appropriate here, now, not what happened in the past, not what may happen in the future, but here now. You're awake in the consciousness of life, and you're able to be at peace by not resisting the conditions and circumstances, which is what the problem is in the initial immature state of consciousness. People attempting to believe that somehow or other they will get to the place where they can influence the circumstances to make them suit their personal ideas and expectations. When you give that up and you're willing to be present and awake, you will receive the insight of this omnipresent intelligence as to what is appropriate, and you will have peace because you will be one with what is, not resisting it, not fearing it, allowing it, flowing with it. So that's where this is very helpful to us. A problem set in conflict has no answer, for it is seen in different ways, and what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer from another. You are in conflict, thus it must be clear you cannot answer anything at all, for conflict has no limited effects. Yet if God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved, for what God wills already has been done. Therefore, God must have given you a way of reaching to another state of mind in which the answer is already there. Such is the holy instant. So, the holy instant is something we choose moment to moment. And if we're open to do that, what is necessary to maintain peace will be there for us. Because we will have surrendered getting our own personal desires met, demands met. We have surrendered the illusionary definition of self. For this moment, we realize our oneness with life right here. And we're willing to allow it to be what it is as we move with it. And there may be things that will come to our guidance that will allow us to bestow peace on others and bring harmony to conditions that were not harmonious. But that's not what we're seeking. What we're seeking is to be in this refined state of consciousness in which we are not tossed to and fro, back and forth, up and down by circumstances. Because we only have peace when circumstances are meeting our personal expectations. So we're not there anymore. We've chosen to make peace the priority for our existence. And by doing that, we are entering into the consciousness divine, or the intelligence that is life itself. Let me share this with you also from Eckhart Tolle's book. This also is from Stillness Speaks, page 45, paragraph 1 and 2. Most people confuse the now with what happens in the now, but that's not what it is. The now is deeper than what happens in it. It is the space in which it happens. So do not confuse the content of this moment with the now. The now is deeper than any content that arises in it. Most people confuse the now with what happens in the now, but that's not what it is. The now is deeper than what happens in it. It is the space in which it happens. So do not confuse the content of this moment with the now. The now is deeper than any content that arises in it. So it's this extraordinary mystical state of being. As a matter of fact, Eckhart Tolle uses being as another name for God or divine awareness or heaven. It's being. And it's not that difficult once we recognize certain truths. Once we recognize that everything is always changing. Everything is always changing in relationship to everything else. And nothing stays the same. Therefore, there's nothing that we can cling to, hold on to, or grasp, or make serve us. Because it's forever in a state of changing and flux. So what is incumbent upon someone seeking to find peace in that is to surrender that kind of attachment. And we say, allow it. Let it be. Let it be. That's the title of that song by the Beatles, Let It Be, Let It Be. Whispered words of wisdom. Just let it be. And as you let it be, you're going to find yourself in a mystical state of awareness, a beautiful peace that is referred to as joy, because you're not lost in grasping, fearing, wanting, simply being okay in this moment, allowing the insight of awareness to guide you through each moment as it occurs. You are free of grasping, wanting, fearing, judging, blaming. Free of it. You don't need a priest to tell you to be right with God, you need to forgive. To be right with God, you need to do these penance. To be right with God, you know, the way to become right with God is here and now. And once you start entering that mystical state of peace and joy, then there's no way you will ever, blame, condemn, seek revenge, anger. That's all in the initial beginning state of awareness. That's the development of the ego-centered idea of self in life. On the spiritual journey, we surrender that for the bliss and joy of divine presence, the oneness and the love that is God. So we're going to take some time together to meditate. And meditation is merely the process of withdrawing the thinking, the ongoing thinking of the mind that is forever planning and attempting to manipulate and make happen and do all this. We don't have very much peace with all of that. But we simply let it go. We're not trying to stop the mind from thinking. We're simply resting resting the mind. We let thoughts come and go in meditation, the way we might watch an uninteresting, colorless, soundless parade, meaningless. Just as the thoughts come in, let them pass by. Hold the ideal in this present moment. Hold this ideal gently in your mind. And when you feel yourself moving away from it, just bring yourself back to this ideal. Everything I look upon, everything I see is only God looking back at me. Everything I look upon, everything I see is only God waiting for me to be free. Everything I look upon, everything I see is only my consciousness revealing itself to me. As we go forth from this meditation to those places we occupy in time and space, let us go forth with a greater determination to practice the yoga of now. And for this opportunity in every moment, we give thanks. To this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. Oh, we're doing prayer. All right, this is Wednesday night. All right, we're going to take a few minutes to pray for those who have been submitted to our prayer list. As Norma calls the name, simply let the thoughts continually go to the names. Be one, be whole, be now. Be one, be whole, be now.
Judy White, Julie Palm, Darren Conister and baby, Andrew Pinapento, Michael Hurst, Bob and Jenny, Carol Monette, Carol Selby, Mark Clevenger, Allie Dish, Robin Deach, Beth and Mike Dempsey, Jenny, Linda Joyce, Linda Boyce, Debbie Anderson, Capon Bridge, Shalene Kindig, Ruth Pearson, Dan Spahn, Diane Spahn, Sandy Spahn, Sylvia Ronstadt, Marilyn Matthews, George Grenier, Kate Beltrami and family, Fiona Riddle, Vince Olivieri, Teresita T., Jean Paul Samori, Teresita Vidar, Spencer Cobley, Annie, the Bell family, the Sheffros family, Uncle Billy, Berta, Dolores, Tom, Forrest, Fatima, Orion, Jessica, Greg Payne, Steve Orr, Greg B., Soren and Heidi, Jax, Nora, Desmond, Annie Goodley, John Brugler's family, Veronica, Mario Pro and the rescue team in Turkey, Eva Anbium, Leo, Graham, Shirley Miller, Allison Fugina, Eva and Mom, Victoria Figueria, Emily Figueria, Heather, Wayne Bartolet, Amber, Crabtree family and daughter London, Ellie, Lavinia, Dara Ratuno, Dinah and Micah, Marcus, Coulter, Hannah, Maya, Tara, Sandy Chamberlain, Turkey and Syria earthquake victims, animal victims of train derailment in Pakistan, Susan Westfall and mother, Syria and Turkey earthquakes, victims, and loved ones. The shooting in Michigan State University, the victims and the families. Ohio toxic train derailment, and all people affected by it. And if you have any name you'd like to call out at this time, you can do so. We see this light surrounding the prayer box and all the people whose names that have been submitted throughout the month. We see them healed physically, mentally, and spiritually.
So now we go forth to carry this meditation principle with us into our lives, that we can become emissaries of light and peace wherever we are. And we do give thanks for this. And to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And those of you watching online, you can just bring to mind that financial gift you'd like to make to Unity. And you can scroll down to where it says donate, and it'll give you the ways you can donate. But right here, right now, we'll bring to mind that financial gift, and we'll hold it in our hands, and we'll bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is.
There's a presence moving softly in the quiet of my being, moving softly all the time. One heart, one mind, one light, united and divine. One heart, one mind, one light, united and divine.
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, and to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen.
We're going to be having the Sacred Feminine meeting tomorrow at 12 noon. We always try to have a healing remedy that we can offer up, and we do a lot of sharing of people's healing processes in their life, and trying to be the best we can and walk in the presence of the Creator. So that's going to be at 12 noon. And then on Thursday night at 6:30, I'm going to be having choir. And what I want to create here is a gospel group of people that really can sing from their heart. It's not going to be hard music, but it's going to be such soulful music. And we really want to get the congregation to sing with us. So it's not going to be difficult, but it's going to be a great place where you can meet people, sing the most wonderful music that will just lift you, and in that you will be lifting the people. So I want men and women to come and join us at 6:30 down in the middle room downstairs. Bring your beautiful selves.
All right, Sunday we'll have our 2 services. Norma and I will be conducting the first 9 a.m. service, and Cinticia will be conducting the 11 o'clock service. To everyone, good night. We have refreshments,
Yeah, we have refreshments,
tea and cookies.
and the bookstore's open.
If you'd like to stay through these doors to your left.
Probably get a lot of conversation since we don't